Alrighty, guys. Good
Thank you.
morning. For those of you who haven't gotten a chance to meet me yet, my name is McGuire Tate. I'm a fellow quarterback. Weekly here, I'm a part of the DAC corporate team, and I'm a broker in the field, just the same as you guys. So my primary focus is meet and greet and informing clients, bringing on brokers and expanding that opportunity as well, and also doing some things on the inside, making sure some lights stay on. But I'm really excited for what I got for you guys today. Um, I had this come to me last night as I was sitting. Actually, I just had gotten off of a phone call with a broker, a new broker on my team, and this thought just popped in my head. So I can't wait to get to that. But first, we like to talk about why we're here, right? The beliefs of DAC and the mission that we're on daily, which keeps our head in the game, and that's why we're here. We love to spread that every day on the huddle here, and that's really, I say this every day, but it doesn't change the reality that um, business owners are out there. They're leading the front line of capitalism. Uh, they're the reason that we have places to go and enjoy, and sometimes things to get, things that are necessary, right? Some of our needs, our weekly needs, monthly needs, and without that, we're left short, right? So they're the ones that make sure that business stays open, make sure that they're constantly improving and making their own business better. But sometimes that takes working capital, and there's a huge shortage of working capital, or I should say, the opportunity to obtain working capital, right? Being that most business owners can't get approved at their bank, so they're left with looking for alternative options. And in those alternative options, there's a lot out there that has came to be since revenue-based funding, came on the market. So what we did with Bank Breezy and DAC is we said we're going to create a platform that's different than the rest. We're only going to bring on the most trustworthy or top-rated lenders in this space, and we're also going to operate as the broker, as the person who's connecting that business owner with the utmost respect and transparency throughout the whole process. So I wrote down there's no one helping business owners in this way in a town. There may be people reaching out via phone or via email or whatever it may be in this space, but there's no one that's operating with the platform that we have to say we're only going to work with places that we know, like I said, operate with transparency and honesty. And then we, as the company, right, we can promise that we're not in this for the money to jack up rates or anything like that for the client. We're going to find them the best deal at the best price, and then get it rolling and make it as simple as that, with usually within 1-2 days, and get them back to leading the front line. So if we keep that in mind every day, and all we're doing is just educating a business owner who potentially doesn't know about this path, then there's nothing stopping us from letting the entire world know, and going on a frenzy of spreading that knowledge. So that moves me into my funding story today, which is just another broker inside DAC, spreading the word to somebody who has needs and has ideas currently for their business that they need working capital to make happen. And this is exactly what happened. So this client is an ATM vending provider in Ohio, and the broker on this is Donardo, either Gentile or Gento. Not sure how to pronounce that there. If you're on, please let me know towards the end. And if you guys could keep yourself muted, I see some popping up there just for the background noise. But this client came to us, had excellent credit and a very strong monthly revenue history. They were seeking $100K to install some new ATM machines for a recently awarded contract. And while they requested the 100K, our Bank Breezy team went out. They leveraged his strong profile and secured $250,000 core rate offer with a 24-month term and 100% prepayment discount. And this really just goes to show that, at Bank Breezy, we're going to find the best offer, no doubt qualified for your business, but we do more than that. We do more than just simply present the offer that we find. We take the time to educate that client now going forward on the value of what this capital, if it's more than what they requested, could do for the business. So the Bank Breezy team, walked this client through how accessing that additional 150,000 could allow him to scale faster. I'm assuming just do more of what he was already planning to do, strengthen his cash flow, and position himself for growth going forward, massive growth, all while maintaining the flexibility within the prepayment options. So they know he can handle it. They understand when he wants to position this prepayment, and that's the extra step, right? We could say we find you the best offer, and that's amazing, but sometimes there's situations just like this where they qualify for 2.5 times what they were looking for. Now that could be a burden if somebody just decides to take it and they didn't strategize what to do with it, or they may feel like, maybe I just won't take that because I didn't think about having 250. I thought about what I could do with 100. So our team calms the storm, calms the situation, and says, if this makes sense, let's talk about it. And that's a reality. And if you still don't want to go that route, that's fine. But we believe that you're safe with this. And that's how you can go to bed at night knowing that all you had to do was be the educator. And we found the offer. We talked to that client and made sure that all was well before proceeding. So great job, Donardo. Great job, Bank Breezy team. We say it every day. It just gets more and more real the more stories you hear. And that's the whole point of this. So hats off to you guys. Now, know before you grow. Like I said, I had a conversation with one of the new broker on my team. He's a younger guy like myself. And he was asking me, he's got a full understanding. He's already been certified. He understands our funding and how that works and how, you can qualify a business owner, having just a general conversation. But he was curious about, I said, you're a super well networked guy. I mean, you're on social media, you're doing this and that. And I'm watching, we talk at least once a week. And I said, I haven't heard about, your agency growing, your agency expanding at all. And he said, well, I feel like I need to, and he's busy, he works a job, but he still, does DAC part time. And he said, I'm just kind of waiting for, to feel like I'm at this kind of more like expert master level, or maybe I've gotten some funding clients. And I said, dude, um, that can happen. That'll happen as you have more conversations, and you've already gotten all the funding knowledge, everything that when we're talking back and forth, you've got this 100%. So what is that really what's stopping you from, connecting with all these people? I mean, he already does some things similar to our space. I'm like, you're already halfway in, with this network. You must have so many people that would just be jumping on this. And he said, well, I guess, yeah, that's the only thing stopping me. And I said, well, lean into that. There's no need, we say all the time on these huddles, you don't need to be a super successful broker right away with DAC before you start spreading that opportunity, because building your agency is something that's long lasting, just like we say with this broker opportunity, right? You water those seeds, but you can begin watering those crops as well. I mean, Ellen Wynn, she's been with us for years, and she talks about how within her first couple weeks, she had spread the word of the opportunity long before she got her first funding. And that speaks to why her agency is the way it is today, and the benefits that she's reaping from, bringing on others. And she may not have known the answer to every question at that time, but that's the special thing about the resources that we have within DAC, these huddles, whatever, the leaders in the field. There's so many ways to be supported here it's a massive benefit as somebody who's spreading this opportunity and growing their agency, is that you can bring somebody in and they can immediately dive into all the materials that we have, and they can completely submerge themselves into that. And maybe you're there for some questions, and if you don't know the answer, you go right to that leadership and that support that we have here and all around in DAC. So there's nothing stopping you from that. So I say, grow before you know. You don't need to know every single thing about the funding product. You don't need to know every single part of what it's like speaking to business owners. If you're new, hey, they're going to be new as well. Everybody starts new, and it's okay to lean on all of the great support we have here. That's why people do it. There's no question. Anybody that shares on here multiple times a week would tell you the same thing. You could call me, text me. I don't care if I've never met you before. That's what we're here to do, because it pushes the ball forward. And if we all believe in DAC, then we want to push the DAC ball forward. So lean into that support. And my ask for you guys today is, and this was more catered to those who are coming in and new, or people that just haven't jumped into that driver's seat yet. But my ask is that if you're waiting, don't. And if you have room to be more outspoken and more verbal about growing your agency, do it. Lean into it, do it, and know that there's nothing stopping you, whether it's the resources, support within DAC, or that person believing that, hey, they're running with this either way now, get out of my way or help me along the way, doesn't matter. You'd be surprised. You don't need to baby people through the whole step, right? We have everything in place so that they get in and they get exactly what they need to be successful. So that's my ask for you guys today. Reflect with yourself. If you're waiting on something, doesn't have to be building your agency, but if you're waiting on something, tell yourself that's just not an option. I have everything I need and more, and roll with punches as you go. And if you have more room to be outspoken and communicate this more, if there's you're doing well, but still something's holding you back slightly, let go of those chains, let go of those limitations, and you'll be surprised how big this can turn out for you. So, for those of you that do know me, I always end with a quote, and I loved this one today. It's from Martin Luther King Jr. It says, "You don't have to see the whole staircase, but you do have to have faith and take the first step." You don't have to see the whole staircase, but you do have to have faith and take the first step. You don't know everything yet, and that's completely fine. No one ever does. No one ever did. But we have a great support system here, and if you guys can't feel that, you will. And I believe it with my whole heart. So I'm going to break.